15 rows down, 4 seats across. That was the exact seat in which I sat. The exact seat. I'll never forget it. It was the funeral of one of my best friends. One of 8 that I would lose to suicide, all of which lost their lives under the age of 24. Sitting there was the worst moment of my life, where I sat broken, a mess, a shade of the person I once was, wiping away my tears. It was in that moment that I decided that enough is enough and something had to change. See, I have this visual that goes back and forth through my head every single day of those faces of those mates that I've lost. And I'd do anything I could to bring them back and show them how beautiful and meaningful their life is. The same way mine is now. But I don't have that opportunity and it breaks my heart. What we do have is the opportunity to take action on mental health and well-being and stop the devastating rippling through our communities by taking action with kids in primary schools. You see, we know that 55% of all lifelong mental health challenges begin before the age of 14. And we know that the youngest kid on record to die by suicide is just 4 years old. What would the world look like if we were to implement programs to help equip young champions in primary schools and even kindergarten with a better understanding of how to combat and deal with life's inevitable challenges before it all got too much? The Mindfull program, Healthier Hearts and Lighter Minds, does exactly that. We go into primary schools in high-risk areas of Australia. Right now, we're working in Gippsland, who are hurting with the recent loss and trauma caused by the bushfires. We are working with kids as young as 4. As soon, we will be working with kids as young as 3 in kindergartens. Yes. Healthier Hearts and Lighter Minds helps our young champions build the emotional resilience to identify, control, and express their emotions in a healthy way, using gratitude, kindness, compassion, exercise, and meditation. Our program is built around years of evidence by the world's leading professionals. The same research was used on the kids' Disney Pixar animation film Inside Out, a movie that was designed to give kids and parents a visual on how our emotions impact our decisions and gives viewers a better understanding on how the mind works and how our behavior impacts not only us but other people, even including the importance of sadness and how it's critical to us feeling and understanding joy. In our program, students learn about the 5 core emotions in the human face: anger, joy, fear, disgust, and sadness. The thought that saved my life in 2012 was the thought of having kids. Every morning, that thought gets me out of bed with energy and drive. The joy is seeing our young champions learn to articulate their thoughts and feelings by using culturally sensitive and supportive emotional cue cards and other easily achievable techniques. All things that are components of our Healthier Hearts and Lighter Minds program. The director of Green Supercamp came to myself in 2018 and wanted to run a program of ours within their program that further enhanced the well-being and health of their young champions. So I'd like to tell you a story. One of the kids from that program that gives me the energy and joy is young Anthony. Unfortunately, Anthony too, like me, has a traumatic story. When I met Anthony, he expressed his emotions through anger and distance, or sometimes by sucking up hot coals in the vacuum cleaner and setting the room on fire, or swearing at the top of his lungs, much to my amusement as a facilitator. Anthony went through 7 different homes in just the last 12 months prior to attending this workshop and was creating a dialogue around himself through professional services that he was a problem and not manageable. You can only imagine how traumatic that was for Anthony, that poor little bugger. After 18 months of providing safe and supported environments to articulate those thoughts and feelings, Anthony wrote a letter to the director of the program and expressed his gratitude. He said he'd never felt like that before. When prompted to describe what that feeling was, he said to the director in one word: love. Anthony's become quite the role model for his peers, and he's just one of the 1,000 young champions that now, through Healthier Hearts and Lighter Minds, is living with a healthier heart and a lighter mind. These champions have beautiful and meaningful lives ahead. Like our program, we must help and support them to become and be more of themselves, but to learn to love themselves. With your generosity and help tonight, Mindfull Oz will be able to immediately access schools in bushfire-ravaged Gippsland where kids will experience trauma and pain that they don't know how to articulate. Schools in areas that wouldn't have the access and funding to these solutions, meaning we can help build emotional resilience in thousands more young champions. Each program is run for 2 hours, and in that 2 hours, 100 young champions. In a day, we can facilitate 2 cohorts of 100 students and then combine both cohorts in the last hour of the day for a second touch point where we talk about meditation, the brain, and how beautiful it is. Within a school setting, a day of programs cost us $3,300 for 2 facilitators, materials, and everything in between. However, with more support, we're able to have multiple teams of facilitators engaging with more young lives. It starts in Gippsland, but this model that Mindfull Oz has built is picked up and moved to impact multiple regions and shires at a time, creating a large ripple effect of positive behaviour and supporting our whole community approach, including supporting our teachers and parents with accreditation trainings and workshops. You can't unlearn what you know, and unfortunately, what we know right now about our emotional resilience and our emotional well-being is not much. 1/3 of our population is kids. 100% of them are our future. Let's keep them smiling. Let's keep them safe. This is a conversation together that we can shift. This is not something that we can any longer just be reactive to. So, what would the world look like if you're involved in the next young wave of Australian champions and little legends? Thanks.